Yeah.
Yeah.
So good morning. Welcome back to Raj for my e-learning session.
Good morning,
As
ma'am.
as you learned last time about MDR 2017 when it was published and how it is applicable in medical device industry, and we've
Yes.
seen many basic things, right? How the medical devices are classified in
Yes, ma'am.
India as per A, B, C, D, based on the risk based, right? So
Yes.
low risk, high risk, medium risk, likewise. And
Yeah.
so we have seen what are the MD form like MD1, MD2, MD3 used for manufacture, import, sale, and other items we have covered about all the MD forms available
Yes.
as per drugs
Yes.
and
Correct. Yeah.
then also we have seen what are the requirement to make the device master file, plant master file, then the licensing, how it happens through CDSU, like
Correct,
Central
ma'am. Yeah.
Licensing Authority, State
Mm.
Licensing Authority, SLA, CLA. So we have learned all those details. And now moving forward, we will be going through the schedule. Okay. So
Okay, ma'am.
so there are mainly 8 schedule, and if you see this gazette is freely available on CDSO website. Okay, the Gazette of India,
Okay.
and it is available in Hindi and English. If you
Okay,
go
ma'am.
through page number 143 onwards, you can see it is available in English, and page number 1 to 142 it is available in Hindi. So how to
Okay.
read this gadget, that is also important. So you can type here, the 143. So it will go to 143, and it will start from the notification. Okay,
Okay.
our Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has published this notification on 31st
31st
January
January
2017.
2017. Okay, ma'am.
This also we have covered in the last lecture, okay? The GSR
Mm.
section, what this rule says about and what all chapters, okay? So we
Correct.
have seen chapter in the previous session, correct?
Correct.
Now
Correct, ma'am.
we will move slowly up to the schedule. So schedule
Schedule.
starts from the 167, I think. Yeah. So if you
Okay,
go
ma'am.
from page number 167, the schedule
We'll
starts.
find the schedules. Okay, ma'am.
So the first schedule, which talks about, what all things are covered under first schedule, second schedule, third, like that, up to 8 schedule. So what
Okay, ma'am.
what we did, instead of reading all these material,
Mm. Okay, ma'am.
we have made a Chris PPT. Okay, the
Yeah.
presentation makes very easy to understand,
Correct,
and
ma'am.
it is not necessary for you to understand each and every word given in this gazette. Okay, so
Okay.
let
Okay,
us
ma'am.
make it simplify, because we have covered important parameters about this schedule.
Okay, ma'am. That's
Okay,
enough.
so
Yeah, yeah.
so out of which, as you know, how to read those gadgets from 167 page for the schedule
Mm.
2, schedule 8. So same thing we have covered in this PPT. Okay, so let us
Okay.
start with this Indian Medical Device Rule schedules. So schedule
Okay.
1 talks about classification of medical device and in vitro devices. So this we have already covered, right? Then
Yeah.
schedule 2 talks about fee. Schedule 3 is registration and function of notified bodies, which is not applicable in our case because we are not
Correct.
notified body. So
Yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
who are notified body, certification body, what kind of documentation they have to submit to CDSU and get the approval, that is given in the
Schedule
schedule
4.
3. Okay, schedule.
Okay, okay.
So schedule 4 talks about the documents required for grant of manufacturing and import license. This is
This one
important
will
for us.
applicable to us. Yeah,
This is applicable and important for us, and this we have discussed during the last session in detail, right?
correct, correct,
And
ma'am.
now the schedule 5, we have reached up to schedule 5, that is quality management system. And in
Okay,
this session, we are going to cover quality management system as per ISO 13485:2016. Okay,
okay,
so
ma'am.
there are 8 clauses, and how those 8 clauses are important to build your quality management system is defined.
Okay.
Okay, so we will cover this quality management system. Again, the Schedule 6 talks about post-approval major and minor changes. Schedule
Yes.
7 requirements to conduct clinical investigation, and Schedule
Okay.
7 talks about the exemption. So like this, there are 8 schedules out of which 4 and up to 4 we have covered. Fifth we will be covering today, and I will
Okay.
give the glimpse of 6, 7, 8. Okay, but not in
Okay.
detail, because if you
Okay.
want
That's
to read in detail, it is given in the Gazette. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so to begin with the first schedule, the
Hmm.
parameters for classification of medical devices and in vitro diagnostic we have covered, right?
Yes.
Which the part 1 talks about parameters for classification of medical device other than in vitro devices, basic principle for classification. So we have
Okay.
seen those classification also A, B, C, D in the previous session, right?
Correct.
Part
Yeah.
2 under Schedule 1, Part 2 talks about parameters for classification of in vitro medical
In
device.
vitro. Okay. Understood, ma'am.
Yeah. So then again, Part 1 in detail talks about application for the classification provision shall be governed by the intended purpose of the device. So as I mentioned earlier, IFU is very important, right? When you
Yes.
classify your device, intent for use, it's very, very important, right? Based on the IFU and the label
Okay.
claim, you are in a position to
Classify.
classify it under A, B,
Yes.
C. So, and if the device is intended to be used in combination with another device, the classification rule shall apply separately to each of the device. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes, say for example, drug and device is there. I have given one example of intrauterine device where I worked earlier. Okay.
Okay.
So the progesterone was the drug which is imbibed in the this copper tea. Okay, and it
Okay.
was inserted into woman's womb. So it was acting as a what? Anti-pregnancy. So that is
Correct, ma'am.
how the drug and device works. And there are lots of combination, if you see, are available as a drug and device combination. So in such
Okay.
case,
Okay.
the intended use could be different. Although it is used in combination device, the
Okay. The
the
classification also will differ.
classification rule shall apply separately to each of the device.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and accessories are classified in their own right separately from the device with which they are used. Sometimes you might have seen the asthma patient are using this device, right? Where the capsule is opened and the drug is placed in the device. And with the
Okay.
suction, they inhale that, the drug.
Nebulizer. Yeah.
Exactly. So inhaler you must have seen. So drug and device. Again, this is the best example. So sometimes accessories are also classified in their own right? Separately
Okay.
from the
Yes.
device with which they are.
Mm.
Then sometimes
Okay.
software you have seen the ECG
Falls
machine for blood
automatically in the
pressure.
same class.
So software which drives a device or influences
Okay.
the use of device falls automatically in the same
In
class.
the same class. Okay.
Yeah. And if the device is not intended to be used solely or principally in a specific part of the body, must be considered and classified on the basis of the most critical specified device. Okay, specified use. And if several rules
Mm-hmm.
apply to the same device based on the
Okay.
performance specified for the device by the manufacturer, the strictest rule resulting in the higher classification shall apply. That means if the several
Mm.
components are already available in your device and it's very complicated device, then the stricter rule means what? It should be classified under D, right?
Okay.
So the
Okay.
highest
That's the
classification,
highest classification we have to take and get. Okay.
yes. So higher classification is either C or D, and
Yeah.
whatever for whatever reason you are classifying under C and D, you have to justify it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And these are the parameters for classification of medical device, that is non-invasive medical device which come into contact with injured skin,
Okay.
non-invasive medical device for channeling or storing substances, non-invasive medical
Okay.
devices specifying composition of substances, other non-invasive medical devices, invasive that is which goes under body orifice, those kind of medical devices for transient use, and invasive which goes on again body orifice medical device for short term use. So these are the
Okay.
parameters on which the classification is followed. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
invasive body orifice medical device for long term use again. Okay, it is continued 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Uh,
For long
one
term use,
it is
short
for
term use,
short term use, and
preemptive.
yeah, other is for long term use. Then again,
Okay.
invasive body verifies medical device for connection to active medical devices, and an invasive medical device shall be assigned to class B regardless of the duration of its use. And if it is
No.
intended to be connected to an active medical device which is in class B or C or D.
Okay.
Then again, a ninth one is surgically invasive medical devices for transient use, surgically invasive medical device for short-term use, then
Okay.
implantable medical device and surgically invasive medical device for long-term use, and active therapeutic medical devices for administering or exchanging energy. Okay, so there are 12 parameters if you see to classify the medical devices, right? Then
Okay.
13th, yeah, we have discussed 12. 13th is what? Active diagnostic medical
Medical device. Okay.
other active medical devices. Then medical device incorporating medicinal product, correct?
Yes.
I have
Yeah.
given
Yeah.
example of yeah,
Copper. Yeah. I have given an
copper.
example that one. Yeah.
Medical devices incorporating animal or human cells, tissues or derivatives.
Issues are the relatives. Okay, ma'am.
Then medical devices for sterilization or disinfection, correct?
Okay.
Then medical devices for
What
contraceptive.
contraceptive use? Okay.
Yes. So these are the different classification given under MDR 2017. Under schedule,
Okay.
which schedule you are discussing? Schedule 1, correct?
Schedule one we are
Schedule 1,
discussing.
part 1, right? Now,
Okay.
schedule
Yes.
1, part 2, the
It's
parameters for
IVD.
classification for IVDs, okay?
Okay.
So IVDs are classified based on what? Application of the classification provision shall be governed by the intended purpose of the devices. And if the device
Okay.
is intended to be used in combination with another device, the classification rule shall apply separately to each of the devices. And
Same thing
accessories
only
are,
here also
yeah,
applying.
same thing, it is given under
Okay.
part 1.
Okay.
Accessories are
After
classified in
also
their
same.
own right
Mm.
separately from the device. If you see A, B, C, D, there it is given 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So
Yes.
then again, see software
Software
which
also same.
drives a device or influences the use of device falls
Falls
automatically,
automatically in the same class.
right? Then the standalone software which are not
Okay.
incorporated in the medical device itself and provide an analysis based on the results from the analyzer. So you must have seen blood samples are tested by biochemistry method, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
so those analyzer, you know, so
Okay.
which does the analysis shall be classified into the same category that of the in vitro diagnostic medical device, where it
Got it.
controls or influences the intended output of a separate in vitro diagnostic medical device.
Okay, ma'am.
Subject to the clause C and D software that is not incorporated in an in vitro diagnostic medical device. So if you are going through IVD, then only we will focus, but otherwise we will just go through, superficially about this part two, IVDs. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Calibrators intended to be used with a reagent should be treated in the same class as the in vitro diagnostics. Sometimes, they will use the reagent solution. Okay.
Okay.
In that case, it can be what they say is it can be treated in the same class as the in vitro diagnostic medical devices.
Medical device reagent.
Yeah,
Okay.
if in case calibrator are used, okay, then
Okay. Okay.
if several rules apply to the same device, this also we have seen,
Mm.
right? Based on the performance specified for the device
Like
by
a
the
higher classification only. Class
for
D
the
we have to
stringent
see.
rule, yeah, higher
Okay.
classification you have to. So
Okay.
okay. Then in vitro diagnostic medical devices for detecting transmissible agent, in vitro diagnostic medical devices for blood grouping or tissue typing, right? Then in vitro
Okay.
diagnostic medical devices for self-testing. Which are
Okay.
those for self-testing? Can you tell me?
COVID. In vitro diagnostic medical devices.
For self-testing, there are so many, no? You can
BP monitors, your
BP
sugar,
monitors, then sugar, blood sugar,
sugar, blood sugar monitors. Yeah.
then mankind and this Prega kit you must have seen.
Praga
Which
news.
says the
Yes.
pregnancy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pregnancy
so all
certificate.
those
Okay.
all those kit you must have seen. So that is called in vitro diagnostic medical test devices for self-testing.
Self-testing. Okay, ma'am.
So you need not to depend on the doctor or nurses or
Any
physician,
medical
right?
professional. Yeah.
Then in vitro diagnostic medical devices for near patient testing. Then in vitro diagnostic medical devices used in vitro diagnostic
That is
procedure.
near patient testing means what, ma'am? That one? Near patient testing?
Near patient testing means where you need a help of doctor. Okay,
Okay, okay.
and
Yeah, okay.
here it is no need of doctor. It is self testing.
Okay, okay. It's any paramedical staffs should need for conduct any test.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, paramedical staff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then in vitro diagnostic medical devices used in vitro diagnostic procedure. Okay.
Procedures. Okay.
Yes. And then other in vitro diagnostic medical devices.
Okay.
Then in this way we have covered schedule 1, that is part 1 and
Part
part 2,
one
right?
and part two, MDR and MD and IVD, both parameters.
Correct. Then schedule 2 talks about second schedule talks about fees, right? For the licensing
Okay.
and registration. And this
Okay.
chart is given under MDR, so you can refer that chart also, right?
Okay. Okay.
For
No
example,
problem.
registration of notified body, 25,000. The fees is given in Indian rupees,
Indian
except where
rupees.
the specified in dollar. Okay. Sometimes
Okay.
they have mentioned under in dollar also. So you can see here it is given in dollar.
Dollars. Okay.
So when we import, because see, import always will be done out of India, from out of India. So whenever
Hmm.
you go for import license for class A or B or C, so they the
$2,000.
given in
$1,000. Yeah.
dollar.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So like that, you have to refer this chart. It is available under that gadget. Okay. So you can refer
Hmm.
for class A, class B, import license, then each distinct medical device, how much you have to pay additional.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, then even the clinical investigation, clinical
With the
performance.
performance evaluations for IVD, clinical investigation for MD.
So wherever they have not mentioned in dollar, you consider
That's the pay
these are
Indian
Indian
rupees.
rupees.
Okay, ma'am.
So then third schedule talks about document required for registration of notified body and its details. So we will skip this clause, this
Okay.
schedule, because it is not applicable in our case.
Hmm.
They have given part 1, part 2, duties, function of notified body, procedure for audit.
Okay.
Then come to fourth schedule. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
Document required for grant of license to manufacture for sale, for distribution or import. This also we have covered in the last session. Still, I will
Correct.
have a glance through it. So
Okay.
part 1 talks about the power of attorney. Part 2 talks about the document to be submitted with application for grant of import license or license to manufacture for sale or for distribution of class A medical device. Okay. So document
Okay.
and it talks about class C and D also. Okay. B, C, D.
Okay.
So then it talks about appendix 1, that is content of site or plant master file, and that
Okay.
we have discussed during last session. Then appendix 2 talks about device master file, okay, other
Okay.
than intro IVDs. Then appendix 3 talks about device master file for IVDs.
Withdraw. Okay.
This is for medical device, this is for IVD.
The IVD. Okay.
And part 4 talks about information required to be submitted with the application form for import or manufacture of medical devices which does not have predicate device.
Predicate device. Okay.
This also we have seen, right? So when there
Yes,
is no
ma'am.
predicate device, we have to go for it is considered as your own innovative product, right? You can apply for patent also, and
Okay.
you have to collect lots of data through the clinical trial, and you have to prove that it is safe, correct?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
forward with your innovative device.
Device.
And huge documentation will be required. Okay. So
Okay.
the power of attorney, how does it look like? It is also given under that gadget. So you can just make such kind of a letter and get it done through your notarized.
Separate present. Okay.
Yes, yes. So this is the power of attorney, and you can just stamp, seal, and give the undertaking. Okay, and
Okay.
so authorized agent also sometimes you can appoint and give the letter of authorization. Okay.
Okay.
And then these are the document. This also we have seen the like document to be submitted with the application for the grant of import license. Okay, the MD 14 form when you submit, what all the requirements, what all documents are required under this application that is given in this table.
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
so you can refer it later on. We will focus more on the quality management system in today's session. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
This is very easy to understand when you go and read this gadget. Okay.
Mm.
Out of that MDR 2017 only, this PPT is prepared.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So like that, once you learn that part one, two, three, 4, 5, device master file, plant master file, and every other document like power of attorney, letter of authorization, and all. Then labeling, design, manufacturer information, essential principle checklist, risk analysis, verification, validation, right? Then
Okay.
you have to write the executive summary. Okay. Then you have to attach the.
Sensitivity, specificity. Okay.
Okay. So all these things are, if you are ready with all these documents, then it is easy for you to get the license. Okay, import license.
Okay.
Otherwise, there will be received. Even we have seen how to upload the documents under Sugam portal last week, right?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So once you have thorough understanding about this, it's very easy to handle Sugam portal also. Only the main part remains that all the documents
Mm.
be ready and all
Okay.
the documents with the technical information should be included. Otherwise, lots of justification you have to provide to CDSU because
Okay.
lots of queries will be received otherwise. If you fail to say, for example, if risk management plan is not given or the compatibility studies or any, anything is missing,
We
then
have to provide the
uh,
justification. Okay. Okay.
justification.
Okay.
Okay. Then come to fifth schedule. So for this particularly, I have made a separate presentation based on ISO 13485. Okay. The fifth schedule, quality management system for medical devices and IVDs. So it
Okay.
comprises of 8 clauses, right? So how these clauses are defined that I will walk through another presentation. Okay.
Okay,
So we
ma'am.
have reached up to which schedule? Fifth
Fifth
schedule.
schedule.
Okay. So
Yeah.
now I will open the another presentation which is specially prepared for the fifth schedule, that is quality management.
Quality management system. Okay, ma'am.
So just give me some. Yeah. So mm, can you see the screen?
No, not yet, ma'am. Yeah. Now it's visible.
Okay. So quality management system as per ISO 13485:2016.
Six. Okay.
So it is uh, ISO standard. You know what is ISO means, right?
National Organization for Standardization.
Exactly. So ISO is a Greek word meaning equal. Okay. ISO,
Okay.
ISO is a non-governmental organization based in
Mm,
Geneva, Switzerland, and
okay.
ISO is committed to developing voluntary standards which are required for product safety and quality.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So, as we know, many even the drugs and cosmetic rules, the Drugs and Cosmetic Act and rules, everything is made for what? To protect public health. So,
correct.
quality and safety is prime important. Okay,
Okay,
and ISO full form you have already mentioned. It is International Organization for Standardization.
standard.
Okay, so ISO was first published in 1996. Okay,
Okay,
and as quality management standard for medical devices based on ISO 9001. So once you understand the
okay,
basic standard of ISO 9001,
okay,
now the 2015 version is available. Okay, from 1996, ISO or 29 this sorry 9001 is 2015 and ISO 13485 is 2016. Okay.
okay, okay,
But in ISO 13485 also, the second edition was published in 2003, and after that, it was published in 2016.
okay.
Third
ISO
edition.
9000 is 9001 is 2015. The last revision is
The current
okay.
edition is 9001 is 2015, and ISO
Okay,
135 is 2016.
2016. Okay,
Okay. So they had given the sufficient time for all the manufacturers to meet the requirement. Okay.
okay.
So ISO 2000, 13485 2016 was published on 25th Feb.
2016.
So today it's what date?
Today is 25th Feb
Feb.
2024.
Today is 25th Feb, right? 2024.
Yeah.
So today is birthday of ISO 13485. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
so many years they have completed, and they had given like see 25th Feb 2018 onwards, the certification and recertification
Two.
happened. Otherwise, the people used to use this second edition, right?
Yes,
So the
yes.
third edition, when it is published in 2016, they had given sufficient time, and from 2019 onwards, no, the previous the old standard was valid.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, okay.
so 2019 onwards it has become mandatory to follow. Like in if you see, MDR 2017 also was published in January 2019, right? And sufficient time was given for manufacturer to implement that standard,
Okay.
right? The rule,
Yes,
MDR
yes.
rule, they have given sufficient time. If you see, they have extended due to COVID, they have extended the deadline for 3 times, correct?
Okay.
Uh, so that is how whenever the standard or the rule comes or the published, they give us sufficient time
Then
for the
to
implementation.
implement these
Yeah,
rules. Okay.
so that the implementation happens in time, and the people get manufacturer get sufficient time to meet those
To
requirements.
implement the
Because see,
systems to
whenever it is published in the same year, we cannot meet the requirement. There are
correct,
thousands
correct.
of manufacturers, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
that is how it goes. So why was
Okay,
ISO 13485 revised? Okay, it was revised
okay,
in alignment of 9001. Correct.
okay,
So
okay,
the basic standard, once you understand the management system as per ISO 9001 2015, then it's become very easy to understand ISO 13485. Okay, and then
okay.
MD SAP also, it is made for 5 countries. Okay, and it is in
MD
alignment
tab.
with the MD SAP, that is Medical Device Single Audit Program. Okay,
Okay,
and so ISO 13485 is a standalone quality management system standard, and it is based on ISO 9001 process model. And
okay.
if you ask who is responsible, right? Who is responsible for quality management system? So all those departments under QA, QC, HR, stores, RA, legal, all
All
departments are
department welcome.
responsible to build
Yes,
your quality
quality
management.
management
Correct?
system. Yes, correct. Ma'am.
So usually what happens when you go for quality management system, the initial audit is taken place, then you have once you get the certificate, okay, after the stage 1 and stage 2 audit, then
Okay.
there will be the certificate will be valid for 3 years, right? And
Okay.
after those 3 years, then every year there will be a surveillance audit, okay?
Okay.
And
Okay.
after 3 years, there will be a recertification. Call
Certification
it
audit.
as
Okay.
RC audit, okay? So
Okay.
initial audit is always divided into what stage 1 and stage 2 audit, and then you get the certification. After certification, there will be surveillance audit year 1, year 2, and in the year 3, it will go as a renewal, that is recertification.
Okay. Stage one or what is stage two? What in
Stage
initial
one
audit they
is
will check?
stage one means they see whether you are prepared with all the documentation to face the
Okay.
stage two audit. So stage two audit is where we have to demonstrate. Uh,
Physical audit that previously we have to
both are
submit the
both are
documents to.
physical. Both are
Okay.
physical audit. The notified body, the certification body comes to your premises, and
Okay.
they go through all the system related documents. In stage
Okay.
one, they just see your preparedness. Okay, your
Okay. Okay.
preparedness with all the
Okay.
documentation, so that in the stage two audit, they will see to all the records. Okay, records
Okay.
means they will see through all 3 months data, internal audit, MRM, all the data. Then if you have batch record, stability data, everything will be seen
Okay.
during stage two audit. So you are in a position to demonstrate them. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
whatever system you might have built, like HR system or IT system or your quality system, okay,
Okay.
your internal audit process, your MRM process, your purchase process, okay,
Okay. Okay. Development,
transportation process,
implementation, and monitoring and continuous
design,
follow. We have to see.
design development, measurement
Okay.
analysis. So all
Okay.
those clause-wise system, once you develop, you prepare your quality manual. So
Yeah.
stage two audit, they will come and see through all the documents and records. So
Okay.
stage two audit is very important based on which your certificate will be awarded. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Understood.
And if you
Okay.
get any NC, they give the time, okay, 1 month to 2 months to rework on
To
NC. You
rectify
give
that
the
issue.
yes, you rectify the issue. You apply to CAPA. You take the corrective action, preventive action. Close that
Yes.
CAPA, send the NCR report, okay, to the
Okay.
notified body, and then they will take 6 to 8 weeks to have the certification. Okay, if they are satisfied
Okay.
with all your replies, with the commitment, top management commitment, then your certificate will be
Will be issued.
okay. And
Okay.
coming to surveillance audit is to see you are maintaining your system and meet the requirements of ISO 13485. As I say,
Okay.
once you receive the certificate, you have to maintain, you have to show the continuous improvement, and you have to
Yes.
show that every day is a compliant day, right? Every day compliance. And that's
Correct.
why you have to demonstrate. So yearly, whatever document being generated or updated versions will be
Okay.
seen in the surveillance audit. At the same time, your internal audit will happen. Sometimes people keep quarterly internal audit, or sometimes they keep twice a month, sorry,
Correct.
twice a year.
Right.
So all those records will be
All the
seen
systems
during
should be
the
audited. Hmm.
surveillance audit. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So that you can demonstrate that you are maintaining the certificate in a well mannered, and
Yeah.
you are following and you are doing all the activities as per compliant system.
Okay. Okay. As per SOP, we have to follow all the things.
Yeah. So then as I said, your certificate is valid for 3 years, but after that period, your organization will require to do another registration audit to renew your certification. So every
Okay.
3 years
Okay.
there will be a
This registration we have to do after that after 3 years.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Then, as I mentioned, when you receive the NC after stage two audit,
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
how you close those NCs, and then the certificate is issued. Okay.
Okay.
So this is just an activity to apply your brain. Just arrange and write down in the chat box which will come as first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Like you give the proper numbering. Now this is mixed and match I have given. So you have to
Okay.
arrange the sequence and write down in the chat box.
Okay.
This is activity for you.
Now I have to do or
Now only
okay.
you just think first activity will be what? First of all, you read all the activities, then you arrange
Yeah,
the
first I have to yes, ma'am. Uh, First we have to QMS development as per standard requirement.
No, you write down here in the chat box.
Okay.
I will give the answer. Write down means you just write down number. Say for example, if you see fifth one is first, like 5, 6, 3, 2, 1, like that.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am.
Just the sequence. Don't write
Okay.
any
Okay.
word. Yeah. Which number will come first that you have to write.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am.
Write down in the chat box.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm noting in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
personal
First
note
you
and I
note down,
will. Yes, ma'am.
then you arrange the sequence.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Two, three, five, six, seven, eight, seven. Hello.
Yes, yes. Write down.
Yeah, I have already write down in chat box. Ma'am.
So you have written 2, 3, 5, 4, 6, 8, 1, 2. So let us valid your result.
Okay. Ma'am.
Okay, you can see the answer. This is the answer. 3, 2,
Two,
5,
three,
4,
five,
6,
four, six.
187. Is it
Okay.
correct?
Okay. No, it's not correct.
So first thing you have to
Do the
you have
gap
to do gap
assessment.
assessment in your existing quality management system, right?
Okay. Okay.
Because you must be following some of the other things. So you have to find out the gap first in the current system, right? And then
Okay.
you can start development of QMS as per standard requirement. Okay.
Okay.
Then you have to select the certification body, whether you want to go with BSI, TUE, or SJS, or there are so many bodies, right? So you
Okay.
select as per your choice, then approach to that certification body, fill up that application form, pay the fees, okay? And then the
Okay.
stage 1 and stage 2 audit by selected certification body happens, right?
Okay,
Then
okay.
review and close that NC, correct? Received from the
Correct, sir.
certification body, and then
Draft
you will
certificate.
get the certificate. Draft certificate is not the proper word, but the if you are in a position to close all the NCs
NC.
as per your commitment, the CAPA is closed, then the certificate will be issued within 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, depending on the
Okay,
NC, whether it is minor, major, or critical. Okay, and
okay.
you get the final certificate.
Certificate.
Understood?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So once the basic funda is clear, then we'll move with the
Okay,
standard content. Okay. So
okay,
what the ISO 13485 standard contains, there are 8 clauses. Okay, out of which, if you see four, the actual work starts from fourth clause. Okay, so
okay.
first clause
Quality
is
management.
scope, normative references. Third is terms and definitions, and fourth is quality management system. Fifth is management responsibility. Then sixth, resource management. Seventh clause talks about product realization, and eighth clause is measurement analysis and improvement.
Improvement. Okay,
So these are very important clauses 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
okay,
So let us start with clause number 1, that is scope, which describes the purpose and the use of the standard, right? So ISO
okay,
13485 is applicable to the organization involved in life cycle stages of medical devices. Life cycle means what? Right from the design, right? Design, development,
okay,
repair, installation, storage, or development, etc. includes supplier also.
okay. Up to the end use.
Yeah, sometimes people think that I'm the manufacturer, so only manufacturers has to build the quality management system and meet those requirements. But it is not like that. All the
Okay,
supplier, distributor, manufacturer, importer, everyone has to meet this requirement and everyone has to get this certification done. Okay. So,
okay.
so the requirement of standard are applicable or vary to the organization type. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Example requirement is change for sterile or non-sterile product. Okay.
Hmm.
And this clause is only informational and does not have any requirement that needs to be made. Okay. So when we talk about normative references, you will see most of the references has been taken from ISO 9001. Okay.
Next to 2015.
Yeah.
Okay,
So then there are terms and definition. So
okay.
if you recollect, we have seen these definitions under MDR 2017 also. What is meant by medical device, right?
In
So
India. Okay.
medical devices is nothing but any instrument, apparatus, machine, implant, reagent, software, material, or other related article intended by the manufacturer to be
To
used
be
alone or in
along
combination
all
for
information for
human being.
human beings
For
for diagnosis, prevention, monitoring, treatment of disease is called medical device.
correct. So
Okay.
definition is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I will give the activity 2. One you have
Okay.
finished, right? So example of medical device used for diagnosis and monitoring. Tell me which is the example out of these 3? Diagnosis and monitoring,
Diagnosis and monitoring, that blood pressure monitor, BP apparatus,
correct? And the medical
uh,
device used for the treatment. Have you seen
treatment,
the
the implant,
pacemaker?
one implant there in
Uh,
the third image, that is
Pacemaker you have
the
seen, right?
pacemaker.
Uh,
Yeah, it's for high class,
yeah. So
uh,
it will come
D,
under which class?
class
Which
C or
which
class D, I
goes,
have,
yeah, which goes inside body
or
is
three. Okay,
high risk,
okay,
right?
okay,
So
yes.
it will fall under C or
Class
D,
D,
right?
yes,
D,
yes, D,
correct?
yes,
So
ma'am.
low, these are the low risk, which is just used outside, right? and
Okay.
this goes inside, so high risk.
What's the second image that one here mentioned? That one?
This is low risk.
Yeah, that image, what you specified there.
Huh?
This one I'm
This
unable to
you put
understand.
it now when you check the blood pressure. This is stick to your body now with the gel.
Okay, okay. That is for ECG. They are
Huh?
keeping that one
Procedure.
electrocardiogram. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So all these accessories are also used as a device, right?
Oh, correct, correct. It's a low risk only. Class A
Ah,
or Class B will come.
correct.
Okay.
Understood the concept, right? How it is
Yes,
classified based
yes,
on
yes.
the
Understood.
risk. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And in the first
Uh,
activity, you understood how to develop, right, your quality management system, right, from gap analysis, correct?
correct.
If you recollect the activity one, right?
Gap analysis I have to do.
Uh,
Then quality management
As
system
you
I have
understood,
to.
there are 8 clauses, out of
Yes.
which fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, okay?
Fifth, five,
Important.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is important to us.
Yeah. So now you can read this definition one by one. Advisory note.
Okay.
And read.
Notice issued by the organization after delivery of the medical device to provide extra information or to advise an action to be taken in the use of a medical device, modification of a medical device, return of the medical device, destruction of a medical device.
So what is
This one
meant by
is given by the organization only, na, this one to
what
alert
is meant uh, after
uh,
delivery
end
of
user.
yeah. So when you sell the device, so along with the device, if you want to add, give some additional information
Okay, okay.
or advice how to use that device and all like that information,
That
instruction
manual
manual,
should contain all these details, I think so.
uh, instruction
Okay.
manual,
Instruction manual. Okay, okay.
or after using how to destruct. Sometimes syringes you have to destruct, right?
Yeah.
Needles, syringes, or some devices, it is only single use. How to
Okay,
destruct
okay.
them.
Destruction of a medical device. Okay.
Uh, all those called as what?
Ad-
Advisory.
Advisory notice.
Okay. Sometimes
Okay.
return of the medical device. Correct?
Yeah. End user don't know the procedure. So they mentioned that procedure means we can easily understand how to
Ah,
return the medical device if any problem occurs or
correct,
so that only they are giving that one. Okay, ma'am.
correct. And in pharmaceutical, what we use the MEDRA, right? The toll-free number we give if they have adverse event, adverse reaction.
Yeah, right.
Call it
Yes,
as
correct.
pharmacovigilance to have the vigilance.
Yeah.
If you have any reactions, side effect or something, you have full authority as a patient, like, right, to report
Yes.
those events. Correct?
Yes, ma'am. Correct.
So then coming to next definition is implantable medical device. You can read this also.
An implantable medical device is one that is placed inside your body during a medical procedure, such
Hmm.
as surgery, and is intended to stay there after that. It's like
Exactly.
any bone surgery. In the plates also they may insert
Correct.
that
So
also comes
you
under
might
that.
have seen hip implant, right?
Yeah.
So then there are so many types of implants, right, which goes
Yes.
into your body. If your hands are broken, there are implants. Fingers are broken, there are implants.
Implants. Correct,
Hips,
ma'am.
then knees, hip,
Yeah.
ankle. So all kind of implant which goes into your body during
Through
the
medical
medical
procedure.
procedure, such as
Yeah.
surgery, and it is intended to stay there after that.
After that.
So you know the implants can be stayed for 5 to 10 years, some for 15 years also.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct, ma'am.
So those are called implantable medical device.
Medical devices. These are not active implantable. This is only implantable medical devices.
And active implantable device is what? Pacemaker, right? Which is active.
Yeah, it's a pacemaker.
Yeah. So coming to next definition, risk,
Risk, combination of the probability of occurrence of harm and the severity of that harm.
right? So for
Yeah.
risk, you can refer to ISO 14971 standard, which is 20,
Okay.
uh, published. It is 2019, I think. Yeah. Then these are the standard which whenever you have to
Failure.
identify risk, how to evaluate, mitigate, and risk control. So
Okay.
this is the most important parameter, and you have to go through that standard. All those standards are available under iso.org.com. It is all paid standard.
Okay.
Nothing
Fault tree
is
analysis, failure
yeah,
mode effect.
nothing is free. Yeah.
Yes.
You have
Okay.
to buy those standard, read those,
Okay.
and apply in your company. Then the tool, like you can go for risk analysis as for FMEA, PHA, or FTA. There are different methodology they have given. So
Okay.
generally, FMEA fishbone diagram is used, right? In the odds.
Failure mode effective analysis. Yeah.
Yes,
Fishbone diagram only there. Okay, ma'am.
correct. So whatever way you want to apply the methodology, it is your the client discretion. It's not mandatory to follow any one method. Okay, there are
Okay.
different methodology, and you can demonstrate.
That is applicable to the
Yes.
process. If anyone matches, we can select that process also. Tools. Okay.
Secondly, the ISO 134 standard itself is a risk-based approach you have to follow, and that is why the third edition you might have seen came after like 2003 edition, right? And
Yeah.
the major difference was what risk-based approach they have considered. When we talk about MDR 2017 is also risk-based approach, and recently you might have heard revised Schedule M, right? Under revised
Okay.
Schedule M, as per Drug and Cosmetic Act, there also they
Okay.
have considered the risk-based approach. So
Risk-based
earlier,
approach. Okay.
yes, so all these standards, all these rules, why there is updation coming up, why they are changing? Only due to risk. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
because lots of cases are happening. You might have seen that because of implant, patients are died, right? J&J implant. You might have seen Johnson implant where
Okay.
implanted in the patient, and after few years it started giving some particles, iron particles. So it was
Okay.
that is why the patient died, and they had
Oh.
to give the huge penalty to the patient. All the implants were recalled from the market.
Okay. Okay.
So anything goes wrong, anything goes against the safety of patient, they have to pay. All the product to be recalled from the industry, from the market, sorry, and you have to report those adverse events are happening, adverse reactions are happening, and you have
Okay.
to
Okay.
justify why you have to reverse engineer why it is happening. And
Yes.
in such cases, the FDA or the any health authority will take the action. Okay, after recall,
Okay.
voluntarily recall, it is good sign if you voluntarily recall.
Recalled.
But
Okay.
when the patient found this adverse
Directly
event and
reported to
adverse
FDA.
reaction, then the notices will be issued by the regulatory body. And in
Correct.
that case, you have to remove all the product
Devices from the
available
market.
in the market, and
Yes.
you have to report, and you have to
Pay the
give the
compensation to the
yes, you have to
patient.
pay to the patient. So
Yes.
like that, many companies, there are so many cases they have lost, in $1 million.
Okay. Okay.
Only, yeah. So Johnson implants is also one of the reason history and why this rule came.
Okay.
Chair from 2017 onwards. Okay. So in
Okay.
Europe also they have changed the rules. That is, if you see EU directives, right? The 745 for medical device and EU directive 746 for IVDR.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and after that our MDR 2017 also we published. So
Okay.
we always follow, British guidelines, British
UK regulation, EU regulations only we are
and
following
Europe.
always.
Correct.
Europe. Yeah.
Right. So coming to next definition, sterile medical device. You know, those who goes for sterility, it is called sterile medical device.
Sterile. Okay, okay,
Then the post-marketing surveillance,
okay.
you know, system,
Systematic process to collect and analyze experience gained from medical device that have been placed on the market.
right?
Okay.
Go ahead, read.
Authorized representative, natural or legal person established within a country or jurisdiction who has received a written mandate from the manufacturer to act on his behalf for specified task. EC-rep is a point of contact between organization and national.
Okay, so EC is European Commissioner. So if you go to Europe or in that matter in US also, you have to hire that EU rep, right?
Okay,
And in US also, you have to have your local agent. So here,
okay,
the person who is locally available in Europe or US, who acts as our agent or our representative, it is a mandatory requirement. Okay, whenever you want to register your product and sell in those particular market like US and Europe, you should have the local representative, and so that he will be the point of contact to the National
okay,
Health Authority. Okay,
yeah, okay, okay.
that is called EC rep. Okay, the
EC
authorized
full form,
European
abbreviation, what?
Commission. European
European
Commission.
Commission. Okay, okay,
European. Yeah. Okay.
okay,
Or you can call it as EU rep also. EU rep. Rep means
okay,
representative.
okay, yeah, yeah, that one, okay.
Yeah. Oh. Then we start with actual clauses. The clause-wise standard, which is clause 4.1.2, talks about the quality management system.
Okay.
This section talks about general QMS requirement. Okay, that is
Hmm.
documentation requirement. It includes your quality manual, control of document, control of records. So the organization shall document a quality management system and maintain its effectiveness.
Okay,
The stage two, it will be seen how effectively you are managing your document and record. So
okay,
the way you get the opportunity to demonstrate so that you can show your effectiveness of the process which you have developed already. Okay.
okay, okay,
Yeah. So the organization shall determine the processes needed for QMS, apply a risk-based approach to the control of the appropriate processes, and determine the sequence and interaction of these processes.
okay,
Yeah. So this is how you can demonstrate, your all your processes. Okay, like training
okay,
process. Okay, the like one process I have taken is a training. Okay, so
okay,
how you define the training process? Okay,
okay.
what
From HR
what
department by
uh,
trained
correct?
personnel.
What are the methodology? So first
Okay,
identify the needs. Correct. So you
correct.
can identify your need, who will be trained on what topic you will be trained, right? And
Okay,
which are the resources? The HR department, right? What will be the
yes,
input? Suppose if you have identified the need, okay, that
yeah,
these are the unskilled worker or the unskilled employees or the newly
get
joined
trained.
it's
Yeah,
conduct, okay. So output
okay,
would be what? Trained personnel. And
correct.
how you will evaluate, that is that comes under measurement, right? You have
Yes,
to evaluate after the
by
training,
written.
either verbally or evaluation. Like you will also be evaluated, right? I am going to
Correct,
conduct exam for you.
correct.
That is the measurement, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Methodology could be online, offline, right? Which kind of
Yes,
training? Sometimes on job, correct? What are the
OJ. Okay,
resources like trainer? Like I'm your trainer, right? So
correct.
sometimes your internal resources train the trainer could take the training, or you can invite outside trainer, the
Correct.
consultant like us, right?
Okay, ma'am.
So
Yeah.
in this way, in such way, you have to define the process. Like this is a
Okay,
training process. Same, you can define HR process, then your manufacturing process, your purchase process, And there are several other post process, right? So
Okay.
you have to define all the processes, write down SOP, write down work instruction, okay,
Correct. Yeah.
and
Put.
demonstrate.
Yeah.
Then how the sequence and interaction happens between those different departments. That one chart also you have to prepare. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Then coming to risk-based approach example, right?
Okay.
So suppose we consider training only, and in which we have identified risk. So the process step will be your training of employees. Okay.
Okay.
In this process, what kind of risk you identify? Insufficient and inappropriate training, right?
Okay.
Because of this risk, okay, what the severity level will be, suppose 4. Possibility
Okay.
of occurrence is 4. So 4 into 4, the RPN will be 60.
Okay.
So what will be the mitigation? What the activities you will taken care of to mitigate this risk? You tell me. You can
Training according to the
training according
profile,
to the profile, monitor the performance,
monitoring the performance of the candidate, schedule
schedule
training
maintenance,
as per
right?
calendar
Calendar,
of the year, feedback,
take the feedback,
refreshment training of process.
correct? So
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
just a illustrative example I have given. You can note down as per your experience. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So then what is the residual risk? Still suppose 4. Okay. The risk
Okay.
of severity, the probability of occurrence after the risk control. But so after
One.
doing this exercise, you have to reduce this, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Probability of occurrence after the risk control, because you are taking the control, right? You are taking
Correct.
the control to mitigate this risk, correct?
Correct.
So of course, after this 16 RPM, it has to be reduced, correct? So
Correct, ma'am.
now after training, after mitigating the risk, the probability of occurrence will reduce to
Will be
1,
to one. Okay.
correct?
Okay.
So
Then.
then it will become 4 into 1 is 4 RPM. So
Okay.
here, what was it? 4 into 4 was 16.
16. Now it's reduced to 4.
You got my point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
We can
then,
mitigate the trick.
uh, so the recommended action will be action item. You have to identify
Training
action,
incorporated all requirements in process. Okay.
correct? So this is the
Correct.
action. And
Okay.
if any other point, you can just add on. So in
Okay.
this way, suppose there are 7 processes, different processes. You identify under each process how many risks are involved. Identify 4 to 5 risks under each process. Okay, and then
Okay.
you give the activities, what all activities you perform to mitigate those risks, and give this
Okay.
RPM number. Make nice Excel sheet. Okay, and present during your stage 2 audit.
Okay. Okay.
Understood?
For
So
all process, we have to submit.
yes, yes.
Okay.
This is I'm considering only one example, right? That
Okay. Like quality protection, quality control, like that we have to
ah,
select. Okay.
select all different processes. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Now, clause 4.1.3 determine. So here we usually give the activity. Okay. You can quote another example, identify the risk, mitigate the risk, and come with the chart. Okay. So suppose
Okay.
if you make your chart, you can send me tomorrow or day after. This is the
Okay.
this is for your practice. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
You can prepare the chart risk-based approach, following this risk-based approach, and
Okay.
send it to me for evaluation. That is one kind of test whether you understood the concept or not. Okay.
Okay.
Then come to clause 4.1.3. Determine criteria and methods needed to ensure that both the operation and control are effective. Ensure the
Okay.
availability of resources. Then implementation. Maintain the effectiveness of processes. Monitor.
Monitor as appropriate.
Now you can read 4.1.4.
The organization shall manage these quality management system processes in accordance with the requirement of standard and applicable regulatory requirements. Changes to be made to this process shall be evaluated for their impact on the quality management system, evaluated for their impact on the medical device produced. Okay,
So here they mention what is change management. Okay. So you
okay,
have to maintain one method, one SOP for the change management.
okay,
Correct? So whatever changes happen during the process, okay,
okay,
changes to be made to these processes shall be evaluated their impact. And you have to measure the impact analysis, right? So you might have seen
okay.
the change control form and all, right? The
Yes,
change
yes.
control
What is
system.
the existing system? What we have to do? What's the risk there? We have to do impact analysis on that.
Correct.
We
Okay.
have to get the approval from all the department. What's the effective department to go for the changes?
Correct. So it has to be evaluated with respect to your quality management system,
Management
with
system,
respect to impact on your product also.
medical device produced. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So these are the changes you have to take on into consideration.
Okay.
Then 4.1.5 talks about when the organization chooses to outsource any process that affects product it shall
Conformity.
monitor, yeah, it shall monitor and ensure control over such processes. And those controls should include in your written quality agreement, right?
Okay.
Example, like sterilization process, packaging process.
Packing process. Okay. Okay.
Because see, sometimes what happens, all things cannot be controlled in your own premises, right? Some
Correct.
activity could be outsourced, like gamma sterilization, ETO sterilization, or some people they go give sample for microbiological assay also. So
Yeah.
biocompatibility studies. So whatever studies or whatever activities are outsourced,
Okay.
you have to define that process. You have to write the SOP, make the quality agreement with those outsourced processes. Okay. And
Okay.
how you monitor the control. Okay. It shall monitor and ensure control over such processes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And these control include written quality agreements. So whenever you outsource the sterility process or packing process or sometimes stability studies or any testing, okay,
Okay.
so you have to well establish quality agreement with the third party, the outsourced party.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am.
Okay. So you can give me 10 example of outsource. Give me any such in your company.
Outsourced
Uh,
for our testing. We have to give outsource.
okay. That is
For
one.
management of our uh, dispatchers for keeping warehouse here for dispatch to all our suppliers, so they may have some warehouses to
Okay. So storage
outsource.
distribution, right?
Storage
Storage
and
and distribution is
distribution.
outsourced. Okay.
Yeah, supply chain
Sometimes,
management system
uh,
comes in.
then third pesticide, you must be outsourced.
Pesticide, yes, ma'am, pesticide
Then your
and
annual
fire
maintenance,
extinguisher,
uh,
annual maintenance,
HVAC
uh,
maintenance, right?
HVAC, yes, preventive maintenance we
Then
have to do, HVAC, calibrations,
correct.
then water system qualifications, that and all we can't do. So we may give outsource to some other authorized agent.
Perfect. Then,
Uh, then that any audit, we have to assign some other outsourced agent for our company audits.
okay.
So we may give for our authorized presence to that auditor, and they will take care of our audits. Like if any we are going for any USFD audit, preparedness for USFD audit, they will help on that. So we may
Very
give that
good.
outsourcing.
You can call us also, Raji PRST,
Yeah,
as a
sure,
consultant audit. So like
sure.
that, you can quote 10 example which are outsourced. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Then come to 4.1.6, the document procedure for the validation of computer software. So in
Okay,
some wherever you are using your PCB or the computerized system, see to that it
uh,
is validated. Okay. So the
okay,
validation plan, validation records are available for such kind of activities. Okay.
okay,
Then 4.2. Okay, 4.1 is over. 4.2, again it is divided as 4.2.1, which talks
Okay.
about quality policy and quality objective, quality manual. Then documented procedure required by the standard, document needed including records and other document as per applicable requirement. So the
Okay.
applicable regulated requirement is a popular word. If you see, this ISO 13485 is risk-based standard, and always it mentioned as do all activities as per applicable regulatory requirement.
Okay.
Okay,
It
so
comes
when we
covers
talk
under all
about,
requirements.
so you have to maintain your quality policy, you have to make your quality objective, qualitative, quantitative. It is measurable. Always quality objective has to be measurable. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
each department wise you have to make the quality objective and
Okay.
to be mapped with all the processes. Okay, where
Okay.
you define all the procedure that this will be followed, this will be achieved, and you have to show. Suppose the acceptance criteria for marketing department is 100% sale of the product. Okay, acceptance
Okay.
criteria. So
Okay.
at the end of the year, he has achieved 96%. Okay,
Okay.
so what are the achievable target? The target given was 100%, but achieved was 96. Okay, then you have to justify. So like that, you
Okay.
have to make all department
Should be
objective
measurable. Okay, ma'am. Yeah.
should be measurable. In short,
Okay.
okay? Qualitative, quantitative. And at the end of the year, you have to put that column, okay, justification, whether the target are met or not met. If not met, what was the reason? Then
Okay.
there you can show the continuous improvement in the next year. This year,
Okay.
suppose if he has achieved 96, next year 99%. So that is the continuous improvement he
Improvement.
uh,
Mm.
so in this way, you can continue that quality objective is always a dynamic document.
Okay.
Okay? So you have to improve on all the qualitative, quantitative measurement. Okay. So
Okay.
target given. So while setting up the objective also, you have to be very careful because you at the end of the year, you have to show that you met those targets. Correct?
Okay. Correct, ma'am. Yeah.
For QA, RA, there will be different target. For QC production, there will be different target.
Different target.
Quoted one example for marketing sales guys. Okay. So
Mm.
like that, objective to be prepared for each department.
Okay.
All the documented procedure has to be defined. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So these are the sorry level of document defined as per ISO standard. Level
Okay.
1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. If you see all the
Okay.
policy and your the quality manual, site master file, plant master file, technical file, all these goes under level 1 document.
One. Okay.
And level 2 is
Level
all
two is
your
quality procedure.
SOP. Yeah, all your SOP
Master
and
formula record.
manufacturing record. Then your
Okay.
work
Work
instruction,
inspection and
guidelines.
guidelines.
There will be many.
Then okay.
Then level 4 is your form formats, right?
One batch processing records.
All the records, okay, goes under
Okay.
level 4.
Four. Okay.
So you can see apex like this triangle. The less number is what? Quality manual will be only one for one company, correct?
Correct.
Whereas there will be several form formats. There could be 50, 60 form formats, right? You must be using in your day-to-day life.
Correct.
Batch records are generated several. Then
Several batch.
preventive,
Yeah. For
yeah,
one
there will
product
be
around
preventive,
200 batches.
yeah, preventive record, then temperature, humidity record. So many records will be generated, and that is why uh, uh, it is divided like this triangle, right? So
Okay.
as
Okay.
you go to this level 4, it is more and more
More
records.
document formats. All will comes under level 4.
Yeah. Then come to quality manual. So quality manual includes scope of the quality management system, including details of and justification for any exclusion or non-application. Example, the here in quality manual, it is very important to write exclusion criteria and inclusion, right? Suppose in some cases, design and development is excluded because some people are contract manufacturer. So they
Okay.
get the design from the customer, right? So they don't have to invent their wheel, like they don't fall into design and development category. So in such
Okay.
cases, you can straight say that this clause is excluded. Excluded means that clause is not applicable in the
Okay.
product manufacturer case, and they will not be required to prepare all the document required under D&D, that is 7.3 clause, design and development, like design
Okay.
import, design output, design verification, design
Efficient design
validation,
validation. Yes, ma'am.
design transfer, all the documentation will not be required if this clause is not applicable.
Applicable. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
quality manual, you have to write down what all like the documented procedure for QMS, interaction between processes of QMS, structure of documentation, applicable standard, then scope,
And
exertion
exclusion.
criteria. So everything you have to write down under the quality manual.
Okay.
Then 4.2.3 talks about the medical device file. If you recollect, last time we have discussed about this medical device file, right? What it
Okay.
comprises of. So same way we have to include this content about your general description of your medical device, your labeling, your IFU, correct?
Product. Okay.
Detail
Product
and the
details.
procedure,
Ma'am.
how you manufacture, how you pack, how you stored, how you handle, how you distribute, correct?
Okay. Correct,
Procedure
ma'am.
for measuring, monitoring, requirement for
Requirement for
installation,
procedures for servicing.
servicing. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
these two E and E parameters are applicable only in case of your device is installed in the hospital, like X-ray machine, then CT scanner.
MRI scan, CT scan, that
In
is
case
also
of
applicable.
equipment. But if it
Okay.
is
Okay.
only medical device, only A, B, C, D is applicable. Okay, E, F
Okay.
is
Okay.
applicable only in case of installable.
Equipment.
Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
yeah. Then 4.2.4 talks about how you control your,
Control of
how
documents.
you
Okay.
like who is writing, review, approval, right? Prior to issue,
Okay.
then reapproval, all these like current version, revision, then next review date, everything, how you maintain or how you control all the
Control
documents
the
generated
document.
at your company, that you have to mention under this clause. Okay, the
Okay.
SOP has to be prepared about control of document. Ensure that
Okay.
document is legible and readily
Yeah.
identifiable.
Identify
Okay, then
deterioration, absolute documents,
so you
approach
have to
change
make
management.
like master copy, control copy, right? Then
Yes.
distribution copy, obsolete when you make the new version, you see to that,
To absolute the old ones. Yeah. That
right?
also sealed. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Then come to control of records, right? Records like what?
Okay.
Thing record.
Whatever we entered,
Whatever
that one.
generated record, the organization shall retain the record for at least the lifetime of the
In
medical.
the device. Okay.
So you
5 years
define the
means we have to
retention.
maintain our records for 5 years or more than that.
Yeah, when the clinical trial goes, they maintain generally for 20, 30 years also, because
Okay.
sometimes the data is very useful. Sometimes recall happens, then reinvestigate. Okay, so that
Okay.
is how important data can be saved on your cloud server. Okay, the
Okay.
copy of the scanned data. And remaining document you can shred or after the 1 year expiry of the product. Like usually 5 to 10 years, people have the retention policy for other documents.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
as per regulatory requirement, you can keep. Okay,
Okay.
so you know difference between the document and the record, right?
Yes.
Tell me what is the document and what is the record.
Yeah. Document is whatever we generating.
Hmm.
Record is whatever we applying our inputs, our readings, like production process, whatever we are that
Filling. Filling the right, filling of the
Filling the
record.
record, filling the documents is a record. Generation
Correct,
of procedure is document.
correct, correct. So the document is the content file that has information in a structured or unstructured form.
Structured format. Okay.
Records are historical file that provide
Proof
proof
of
of.
existence. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Then come to fifth clause, that is management responsibility. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So the top management responsibility, customer focus. So always there will be top management responsibility should be involved in the processes. Okay. Then defining the quality policy, he has to ensure the quality objective are well established. Okay.
Okay,
Then
ma'am.
again, management reviews should happen.
Every
As I
6 months
said,
they will do. Yeah.
and he should ensure that adequate availability of resources are available. Right? Then customer focus, top management shall ensure that customer requirement and applicable regulatory requirement are determined and met.
Okay, ma'am.
Then quality policy, it gives the overall goal of the organization, right? So top management has to ensure that established quality policy.
Okay.
Quality policy provide framework for establishing the review of quality objective, and quality policy is communicated and understood within the organization. It has to be reviewed and uh, what
Suitability.
it then quality objective we have already discussed, right? The
Yes.
top management quality objective or the method by which you translate your goals, right? So top
Okay.
management has to ensure establishing quality objective at relevant functions and the levels, and to include to meet the applicable regulatory requirement. Okay. Then the
Okay,
quality
ma'am.
management system planning also mentioned under 542. Okay. So the planning of QMS is carried out, the requirement of processes and quality objective.
Yes.
The
Integrity of the QMS to be maintained when changes to QMS are planned and implemented.
right.
Yes, ma'am.
So quality objective should be very smart. Like smart means what? Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound.
Okay. Smart. Okay.
Like I had given one example, right? Quality objective, sales turnover. Okay, department objective. Say for
Okay.
example, previous year status was 10 to 12% increase from the last year. Okay.
Okay.
Target is what? Increase by 20% over turnover till March. Okay. Was this,
Okay.
and plan to achieve the target is what? To identify locations where the sales is less than the specified target, review of failed deals, and training. And responsibility was sales. Okay, review time cycle was 6 months. Okay, so
Okay.
you have to analyze the data. Okay, so with the data
Okay.
analysis, you can see the trend. Okay, for the previous year, next year, 2 years, like that. You have to make a plan for the sale, and you have to set the measurable objective. This is just an
Okay.
illustrative example. Similarly, I have given for the training also, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Under risk also, the same example you can consider under quality objective. Okay,
Okay.
how you meet, whether you are meeting the target or not, training calendar is established. So suppose if you have planned 4 training in a year for a person or for a department, and if you have achieved only 3 or 2, what was
We have to give the
so
justification
like
for
that
that.
you
Yeah.
can
Mm.
mention. Then
Okay. Okay.
again responsibility and authority chart you have to ensure the every person JD job description roles responsibility has to be defined. Okay.
Okay.
So you have to go to main clause, then the sub clause. Okay. So
Okay.
5.6.1, 5.6.2, you know. So MRM is again I said.
Management review meeting.
So some people keep it as quarter, some people twice in a year.
Twice in a year. Yes, ma'am.
So under MRM, you have to give the input, right? Review input. We have to discuss about feedback, complaint handling, regulatory authority.
Reporting to regulatory authorities, audits, monitoring and measurement of process, monitoring and measurement of product.
So all these
This under
points
comes under
are
review input. Okay.
Then corrective action, preventive action,
Preventive action,
follow-up.
follow up from previous management reviews, changes that could affect the quality management system, recommendation for improvement, applicable new or revised regulatory requirements.
Okay.
These are all the inputs. Okay, ma'am.
Then what will be the review output?
The output from the management review to be recorded and include the input reviewed.
Hmm.
Improvement needed to maintain. Improvement of product related to customer requirement. Changes needed to respond to applicable new or revised regulatory requirements. Resource needed. These are the outputs.
So whatever changes happening to the regulations, okay, suppose now 2016, this ISO 13485 2016 is applicable till now. Say for example, tomorrow it comes as ISO 13485 2025. Then
Okay.
in the management review meeting, you have to discuss what are the changes, in our system as per the new regulation, new guidelines we have to make. Then what
Okay.
are the improvements, product related, if any compliments happen, what are the,
Okay.
yeah, measures we are considering. So all those points have to be discussed, and MOM, the minutes of meeting is recorded. Okay.
Recorded. Okay.
And any resources, additional resources are required that you have to
Okay.
discuss under this clause.
Output. Okay, ma'am.
Then come to sixth clause, that is resource management. Correct?
Okay.
So provision of resources. So resources will not be only human resources. It talks about infrastructure as well. Correct?
Okay.
Then you have to determine and provide the resources needed to implement the QMS and to maintain its effectiveness and meet the applicable regulatory and the customer.
Customer procurement. Okay.
So first is what human resources. So whatever human are working in your company, see to that they are all competent, right? The competency matter.
Okay.
Then training record, correct? Then medical,
Okay.
everything has to be evaluated, whether they are aware of their quality policy, quality objective. Then their education record, training record, skill competency, experience, everything will be part of this clause under
Okay, ma'am.
human
Human
resources.
resource.
Okay. This is the competency matrix. Like suppose QC manager is hired, the
Okay.
functional training, okay, uh, required. What is this?
Testing experience. Trained on ISO. This should.
First of all, QC or QA manager, see to that who is your MR, who is your internal auditor. If you have identified a QA person as your management representative as a MR, see to that he should go through ISO training also, ISO 13485 internal
Okay.
audit course. Okay, so that is a mandatory requirement because during stage two demonstration, uh,
Okay.
the certificate will be seen whether he was trained and he has the internal auditor skills or not. Okay, then the
Okay. Okay.
soft skill like leadership,
Leadership quality.
communication,
Education is biomedical engineer. And gap is non-trained on ISO 13485. Training is required. Okay.
okay. So like that you make the competence. Even the level of competence is defined like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. When the person joins, suppose he is at level 1, then see that
Okay.
next year he will reach by level 2 or level 3, like train the trainer, or he can become a supervisor, right?
Correct.
So that is how you can define the competency matrix in your company as per your company policy.
Okay.
You can define as 1, 2, 3, 4 grade also or level also, whatever way you feel comfortable. Okay,
Okay,
so
ma'am.
you can define competency. Then
Okay.
once you have human competency, then go to infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
See to
Okay,
that
ma'am.
all the building premises are well planned. The layout is approved by the local authority. Okay, then
Okay.
the workspace and other utilities are in. Like suppose if your medical device require some during manufacture the environmental is polluted, then you have to seek the uh, approval from environmental board, pollution board, okay?
Pollution control board. Yeah, okay.
Pollution control board. So like
Okay.
that, you have to take care of all the premises, infrastructure, equipment, both hardware, software. Then the
Okay.
services like transport is available, communication mean phone,
Information systems.
emergency number, yeah, all the
Okay.
information system. Okay, in case of emergency, ambulance is available or not. In case of fire, fire system. Okay, like that, all those supporting services are available, and we
Okay.
should document entire processes. Okay.
Okay.
Then you have the periodic maintenance, right? The including the interval of performing maintenance activities. So records of such maintenance shall be maintained.
Maintained. Okay.
6.3 talks about infrastructure.
Yeah.
6.4 talks about work environment and contamination control. So
Okay.
the organization shall document requirement for health, cleanliness, and
Clothing of personnel. Ensure that all personnel who are required to work temporarily under special environment condition within the work environment are competent or supervised by a competent person.
correct.
They should also
Yes.
trained on the current environment.
Yeah, sometimes the gowning system is right. The gowning
Yeah,
is required. So think that all personnel working in the premises are healthy. They are medically
correct.
right, so
Fit.
that
Yeah,
our work environment remains healthy. There will not be any cross
any
contamination.
cross contamination will not happen. Okay.
Then during COVID, all the mask wearing was compulsory, hand wash was compulsory.
Compulsory.
So
Yes, ma'am.
that you keep your environment hygiene, right? So
Yes.
and sometimes in the sterile, like for sterile medical device, control of contamination with microorganisms and maintain the cleanliness during assembly or packaging process. Correct? For
Okay.
implantable device packing, you should maintain that cleanliness, right? So
Yeah.
sterile area,
Any
clean area.
microorganism will be there. There may be a problem.
So you must have seen the clean room concept, right? So ISO
Yeah, ISO
classification.
class 8,
Yeah,
ISO class 7, ISO class 5,
correct. 5, 6, 7. So
1
as
lakh
per your
particles.
medical
Yeah,
device requirement, you have to maintain that cleanliness in the clean room. Okay.
correct, correct, ma'am.
Then come to seventh clause is a product realization. Okay.
Okay,
So you have to make a quality plan, right? The planning of product realization. So product realization is what the product will be, right? So planning of product realization, the organization determine the following parameters. So you have to define the customer related processes, design and development, purchasing, risk management, production
production and service
logistics,
provision, control of monitoring and measurement equipment, quality objectives, inspection and test, handling, storage, distribution, and traceability.
right? So
Okay, ma'am.
identification and traceability is also important in this class.
Okay.
So now one by one they have defined. You can read now 7.2.1.
Determination of requirements related to product. ISO 13485 is 2016 require organization to meet customers' need also. The organization shall determine requirements by the customer, applicable regulated requirements, any user training.
Correct?
Okay. Last, any user training means it's for equipment, right?
Ah,
Okay.
user manual, yeah. Your user manual is there, na? So all on all equipment. Okay,
Okay.
the user should be trained.
Trained. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so organization should shall determine the requirements by the customer. First of all,
Okay.
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 So you have to define the customer related processes in your system.
Okay.
Okay,
System.
because we have to identify the customer need also. Correct. At
Correct.
the end of the day, we are selling our product to customers. So what type of training is required by the customer? That you have to
Okay.
identify. What our regulatory standard also says. Okay. What our
Okay.
user manual says. So as per that, you can specify in your system customer related.
Okay.
Things. Then read
Review
7.2.2.
review of requirements related to product. The organization shall review the requirements related to product. This review shall be conducted prior to the organization commitment to supply. Product requirements are defined and documented. Applicable regulatory requirements are met. Organization has the ability to meet the defined requirements. When product requirements are changed, the organization shall ensure that relevant documents are amended and that relevant personnel are made aware of the changed requirements. Example order review. If you want to sell product in USA. Okay.
So whenever you want to sell your product in USA, you see to that order is received first, right?
Yes.
Correct? And that order, based on the order only, you can go for 510K application, correct?
Correct, ma'am.
Unless and until, see, when there is a demand, there will be supply. Correct? So unless you get the order, how can you start your, thinking of you have to market your product in USA? Correct?
Correct.
So first we have to establish our business distributor channel, correct? And then only you
Correct.
can, um,
Market our product in the US.
yes. So
Okay.
we have to review what here we have to mention the organization shall review the requirement related to your product.
Product and regulatory requirements that
And
and all we have to make.
then the commitment to supply. Correct?
Correct. Correct.
So we have to meet all these requirement, and this is one example we have quoted. Understood the concept? 7.2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Then come to 7.2.3 communication.
Okay.
You can read.
The organization shall plan and document arrangements for communicating with customer in relation to product information, inquiries, contracts, or order handling, including amendments, customer feedback, including complaints, advisory notices, customer care number, example for this one.
So communication, correct?
Yeah,
You have to write down one SOP, how you communicate. Okay. And you have to, the organization shall plan and document arrangements for communicating with customer in relation to what? Product.
product information
When the
and what
inquiries come, when the contract is signed, right? When the order
yes,
is to you.
any customer complaints, any
Ah,
feedback, that and all will come under communications. Okay. Any advisory notices. First, we already told that advisory notices.
correct.
Yes.
Then this clause, as I mentioned earlier, if
Yeah.
you are going to exclude, then you need not to go for all these documents. But
You have
if
to give the
it is
justification
applicable, then you have to go with all these documentation.
documents. Okay.
So
Design and development. Design and development process include design and development planning. It's the first one. Then design and development inputs and output and design and development review and verification, validation and transfer. Final the control of design and development changes. Like
so all these become your design and development files.
development files.
Design
Okay.
is
Okay.
so same thing they have mentioned one by one. Design and development planning first start, right?
Yes.
So planning responsibility must be clearly defined, like who is involved, your mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, depending on your design, like medical device, who were involved, what was the qualification, or like if other parties are involved in this process, then effective communication must be.
Communication must be established. Okay.
So in
During and
the planning phase, like during design and development planning, all its phases must be defined.
defined. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Then design
Okay.
input. What will be input? Your functional requirement, product performance and requirement, legal requirement.
Regulatory requirements, information from previous similar projects, customer
So you,
requirements, market information, that and all covers here.
so here you get the predicate device also, right? So you
Yes,
see the predicate device, what is its functionality, correct? And
correct.
all those things will be part of your design input,
And
correct?
development inputs. Yeah.
Then your design output, correct?
Yeah,
Then you go for your drawings, engineering documentation,
documentation, planning, parts of the design and development output shall be maintained.
right?
Okay,
Then it has to be reviewed, right?
correct.
Who is participating in the review, right?
Okay,
Date of review, who has reviewed, like
okay,
many versions were there. Suppose there are 5, 6 designs or 10 designs. How you
okay,
arrive till prototype, okay? So
okay.
the design and development review must be
Be
documented.
documented. Who are all involved that also you have to mention. Okay,
Then it has to be verified, correct?
okay, correct, ma'am.
So whatever you are given the input, so output is correct or not, it has to be verified. So
Okay,
test versus standard also verified, it has to be tested, right? It,
correct.
it is under clinical, you have to prove that clinical is safe. Okay,
Okay,
it is analytically proven. Analytically, you have to say that it is as equivalent to 100%, right? Then giving results as per the predicate device. So test
okay,
versus
okay,
standard, yeah, reference versus our test. Then
okay.
validation determines whether the product can be fulfill requirements. So validation to be complete prior to release. So you have to show that it is giving consistent result, like 3 validation batches
For
you
three consecutive badges, we have to do for
ah,
this. Okay,
validation. Okay.
okay.
And all the record like validation report, process validation protocol you have to maintain.
Maintained. Okay,
Then once you are confident about design validation, you are ready to transfer from R&D to production, correct? So,
correct.
so the design transfer output to manufacturing must be documented, and the organization shall document procedure for transfer of design development output to the manufacturing.
Manufacturing.
Okay. Then,
Okay,
say for example, you are validated, you have transferred, now batches are taken place. Now, when you go for scale up, there are chances to change, with those design. So here
okay,
and
okay.
there, you are making changes in the specification or in some, part of the project.
Validation also have to again we have to do.
Exactly. So,
Yeah, okay.
whatever you are making changes, those have to be recorded.
Reviewed,
Be
verified,
reviewed, ha.
validated, and approved before the changes to be made in the equipment.
And the records about the changes must be kept.
Must be kept. Okay,
So in this way, it becomes your design and development file. Okay.
fine. Okay, okay.
All these we have discussed.
Correct.
Okay. Now 7.4 talks about purchase. So purchasing also it's very important process, right? Supply chain.
Supply chain management. Correct.
So you can read this now.
Purchasing process. Purchasing includes products and services you acquire from suppliers and outsourced processes. Need to establish and document criteria for supplier selection. Results of the supplier evaluation must be documented. Then purchasing information. The organization shall check the adequacy of purchasing requirement prior to their communication to the supplier.
Right?
Yeah.
So, so you have to have this verification of purchase product in place, like suppliers selection. Okay,
Okay.
this is selection, huh?
Okay.
Supply
Okay. Okay.
process, and
Selection
then
process. Approved supplier list.
yeah,
Supplier agreement.
you can see this suppliers. Sorry for the spelling mistake. It
Yeah.
is a
No problem. Yeah.
it is
Supplier
a
selection
supplier
process.
selection process, approved supplier list, supplier agreement, supplier audits.
Supplier audit. Supplier evaluation.
Okay. Then
Okay.
7.5 talks about production and service provision.
Okay.
You can read.
Production and service provision shall be planned, monitored, and controlled.
Right.
Other requirements. Okay. A documentation of procedures and methods for the control of production. Qualification of infrastructure and machines. Monitoring and measurement of process. Labeling and packaging details. Product release, delivery, and post-delivery activities.
So here, the production and the service provision. Under production,
Okay.
lots of document will be generated, right?
Correct.
how the manufacturing takes place. So you have to nicely show the flow chart, right, of your manufacturing process, that
Correct.
step
From
loss.
granulation to packaging, like that, how it's happening, like that flow chart will be there. What's the
Then
checks? What are
what
the
are
tests?
the correct
Okay.
IPQC, critical process
Plus
parameter.
parameters. Okay.
Okay, then how it is monitored, how it is packed, how it is labeled, how it is released. Okay, then
Okay.
till the delivery and post delivery. So all the
Activity.
activities has to be captured under this production and service provision.
Service provision. Okay.
Then cleanliness.
Cleanliness of the product. In cases when the product is cleaned by the organization before the sterilization, the organization needs to document requirements for cleanliness of the product.
Okay,
Installation, yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
installation activities requirements. The organization shall document requirements for medical device installation and verification of installation. We have to procedure cleaning SOP and installation for IQ, installation qualification, that and all you have to do things.
Right. So here, suppose if you are outsourcing gamma sterilization procedure, but before that, how you pack, how you maintain that cleanliness record, okay?
Okay, okay, ma'am.
That procedure has to be defined under 7.5.2
Point two. Okay,
about your cleanliness of the product. Because in the
yeah,
interim period, you are going to store, right, in your premises before it is sent to sterilization, gamma sterilization.
okay,
So that procedure has to be maintained. Then suppose in case of installation of equipment, some activities are there. In your case, suppose this clause is not applicable, you can write in the exclusion criteria under that quality manual. Okay.
okay,
Because if your device is not like an equipment which has to be installed, then this clause will not be applicable. In case of it is applicable, then you have to document the requirements for installation verification.
okay, okay.
Like
For the
DQIQ.
objectives, we have to mention
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Okay.
So you might have heard about DQIQ, QPQ, right?
Yeah, installation
Ah,
qualification,
ah,
operational qualification, performance
correct.
qualification. Yeah, okay.
So in your case, I don't think this is applicable, right? In your case.
Yeah,
Yeah. Then go to service.
servicing activities.
When it comes to installation, then you have to give the AMC also, right? Service.
Correct, correct.
So the servicing of medical device is a definite requirement. The organization shall document servicing procedure.
Service procedures. Particular requirements for sterile medical devices. The organization shall maintain the records of the sterilization process, like gamma, steam, etc. What's the sterilization process? We have to mention. And sterilization record shall be traceable to each production batch of medical devices.
Correct?
Okay. Yeah. Validation of process for production and service provision. The organization shall document procedures for validation of process, including review and approval of the processes, equipment and personnel qualification, acceptance criteria, statistical technique with rationale for sample sizes, validation records, criteria for revalidation, approval of changes to the processes.
Okay, this we have discussed
Okay.
several times, right?
Yeah.
Validation process. Then,
Particular requirements for validation of process for sterilization and sterile barrier system. The organization shall document procedures for the validation of process for sterilization and sterile barrier system. Example for gamma sterilization, ETO sterilization, etc. What is
if there
ETO
is particular
sterilization? Okay.
requirement, yeah, if there is
Okay.
particular requirement for validation of processes. So
Okay.
the
Okay.
in your case, like suppose if you are outsourcing this process, so you see to that you take the validation certificate from the gamma sterilizer, the vendor. Okay.
Okay.
See to
Okay.
that they also made this ISO 13485 requirement and they
Correct.
have validated their entire process. Okay.
Okay.
Because you are going to sterilize your product by using their facility. Correct.
Okay. Correct.
So that is how it is mentioned in this standard. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Then identification of the
Identification
product.
of the products through the product realization process. Last time last we seen that organization will identify product status through production, storage, and dispatch. This one already we discussed. This one product relations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then,
Traceability also okay. When it is about a product, traceability may refer to the origin of the product, material and parts, history of processing, distribution, and product location after delivery. Where traceable is needed, the organization must establish a unique identification system for the product and maintain records traceability.
right. So
Okay.
identification traceability also is very important, and you have to write your SOP on this. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
How you are in a position to trace your product right from your raw material input till finished good delivery. Okay, dispatch.
Okay.
What
Okay.
is the how you
From badge number
identify?
identification,
Yes,
that for that
batch
unique
numbering
identification
record,
system.
yeah, item code, everything you have to mention in that.
That what's the stage also we have to. It's a production packing or it's an what's the stage granulation compression like that. We have to mention it.
Correct.
That stage also
Right
that
from
traceability
the
you can able.
right from the origin of the product, material and part, history of.
Parts, history of processing, distribution, location after delivery. Okay.
So every
Where we dispatched also we have to maintain that thing. Okay. Customer
this clause,
property,
yeah, great.
materials, equipment, personal data, artwork labeling given by the customer can all represent customer property. If this property is lost, damaged, or the customer must be notified and communication must be recorded.
Right. So
Okay.
suppose if you are a contract manufacturer, you may
Okay.
receive design from the customer, correct?
Correct.
So
Correct,
that
ma'am.
design will belongs to your customer. So how
Correct.
you store at your premises, right? Sometimes design, drawing, picture, catalog. Some people may give the sample also. So all
Correct.
these belongs to your customer. So how you are going to handle the customer property, that is
Okay.
mentioned in this clause. So you have to
Okay.
define your procedure, how you are going to keep those under a lock and key, or how long you are going to store those, samples or design or material, that you have to mention in this in your system.
Okay. Okay.
How you are going to handle
We have
customer.
to maintain the confidential property. Okay.
Yes, and if at all it is not applicable, then you mention that 7.5.10 clause is not applicable.
Yeah. So, we are own manufacturer means it is not required. Okay.
Then come to 7.11 as a, sorry, preservation of product.
Yeah. The organization shall protect product from modification, contamination, or damage. Designing and constructing suitable packaging and shipping containers. Any special condition needed for packing. If special conditions are required, they shall be controlled and recorded.
Right? So you
Yeah,
might
yeah,
have seen the label like store under 25 degrees centigrade.
yeah.
So
We should
these are the
maintain. Yeah,
so preservation, what your stability condition or preservation policy says, that you
yeah.
have to mention under preservation of product, correct? And
Correct,
you
correct.
have to provide the stability data also. Then
Okay,
the stability protocol, stability studies. Okay. So
okay,
all these, any if at all any special condition required for the packing, also you have to mention.
okay, okay.
Then come to your control of monitoring and measuring of equipment.
Man.
So
The
whatever
organization.
equipment,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, you can read.
organization. The organization shall document procedure to ensure that monitoring and measurement can be carried out, like calibration procedures, list of equipments, calibration detail, and calibration status record. Organization shall document procedures for the validation of the application of computer software used for the monitoring and measurement of requirements.
Okay. So first
Um,
of all, you have to list down all the equipment used in your
okay,
process. You get it calibrate. Sometimes in-house calibration is done. Sometimes you outsource also. So once
correct.
you list down all the equipment, you have to
Okay,
make the calibration calendar. Okay.
okay, correct.
And each equipment has to be tagged with the calibration status, right?
Correct.
Simple, even your balance, daily
Weighing balance.
weighing
Yeah. When
balance,
calibrated on next
percentage.
calibration due.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All those
First
records.
calibration range. That details and all should be mentioned here.
Correct.
Yeah.
Then come to your 8 class. So I will take just 5 minutes break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Resume. So in this way, we have completed clause number 1 to 7, and now
Okay.
we move towards clause number 8,
Mm,
which talks
okay.
about measurement analysis and improvement. Okay.
Okay.
So this clause is again subdivided as 8.1, 8.2, like that. Okay. So
Okay.
when we talk about 8.1 general, it is 8.2.1 talks, right? The organization shall document procedures for the feedback process. This feedback process
Okay.
shall include gather data from production as well as post-production activities. Okay. Customer feedback example, can you give me?
Customer feedback.
Yes. When we supply or dispatch your finished goods to customer, what
Okay.
kind of feedback you may receive?
Through phone, through email, through some system they developed in the internet.
No, what kind of feedback? Like example, say for example, your delivery is in time, but the product got damaged, the pack was damaged or something like
Okay.
feedback. Sometimes it may be very good
Delivery in
feedback,
good
bad.
condition. Okay.
Yeah, so such type of like post production, post dispatch, you may get feedback. So what kind of feedback you may receive, how you address it. So the feedback system you have to develop.
Generate. Okay.
Ah, so the procedure like which shows like how you handle the complaint, the customer complaint, customer feedback. So
Okay. Okay.
it has to be mentioned in your procedure. Okay.
Okay. If any for 20 products, only 19, 18 product, 18 pieces only received. Two products are missing like that. Telling.
Sometimes what happens, suppose if you get 2 to 3 times the same type of negative feedback, so in that you have to identify the risk, right? So the
Yes.
information gathered in the feedback process shall work input into risk management,
Okay.
correct? So you have to map the negative feedback into your risk management also, correct?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
This general clause 8.2.1 says about how you measure, analyze, and improve. Correct? So that
Correct.
is why this is a general statement is specified under this standard.
Okay.
Then we move on to 8.2.2, that is complaint handling.
Handling. Okay.
So the organization shall document procedures for timely complaint handling in accordance with the applicable regulatory requirements. And these procedures
Okay.
shall include receiving and recording information, like how you receive the complaint by email, by verbal telephony, or how is it like? Okay. So how you
Yes.
receive, how you record at your end, correct? Is it recorded by the MR, marketing person to QA? Then it is recorded as a CAPA, corrective action, preventive action. How it is? Like you have to mention the
Defined.
procedure, how you
Okay.
receive the complaint, how you record that information, then
Okay.
how you evaluate
Evaluating
the
information.
information to determine if the feedback leads to complaint. Correct?
Okay.
Investigating that complaint with the help of YY analysis or any other tool. Okay.
Okay.
Then handling of complaint related products and corrective action,
Okay.
preventive action.
Okay. Okay.
This is the normal procedure we have to
For
write down
complaint
in.
handling.
You have to
Okay.
document that procedure. Okay. About
Okay.
complaint handling. Then 8.2.3 talks about reporting to regulatory authorities. So organization needs to document a procedure and keep the records of reporting to regulatory authorities. Like in case of India, how you register your product, how you report to the Sugam portal, that procedure you have to write down. Okay.
Okay.
Then come to 8.2.4 is the internal audit. Okay, so you have to write down the SOP on internal audit, and it
Okay.
has to be performed at the fixed interval, like you said, twice in a year. So who is your internal auditor? How he performs the internal
What's the
calendar?
qualification? We have to qualify number first. We have to that internal auditor must be qualified according to the ISO.
Correct.
Okay.
Then you have to have your internal audit calendar, audit
Okay.
checklist, who are the
Okay.
auditees, what is the auditee's qualification. Okay,
Okay.
so everything
Okay.
has to be planned.
Okay.
Okay, then come to monitoring and measurement of processes, internal audit CAPA. So
Okay.
internal audit we have discussed. CAPA under corrective action, preventive action also. You have to mention how you are going to address any non-conformity, correct? Or any
Correct.
incident or any risk which we have identified. How you
Hmm.
have taken the action, like corrective action, and how you have taken the action that it will not reoccur. That is preventive action. Then
Okay.
impact analysis and everything will be
That
monitored.
potential non-conformities,
Ah,
that preventive action. It's
correct.
okay.
So, 8 clause is divided in under 8.1.
8.1.
8.1 is again divided 8.2.1. That is, you have to have your documented procedure to
Okay.
define all the processes, right from feedback process, complaint handling process, correct? Then
Correct. Reporting to regulatory authorities, internal audit,
internal audit, CAPA,
monitoring and measurement process, monitoring and measurement of product.
yeah. So under process also, what all different processes you are monitoring, how you are measuring, that you have.
Okay.
And when you talk about the products, the product dimension, microbiological activity, safety requirement.
Safety, calibration, visual inspection,
Okay. So this is related to your product
product.
monitoring and measurement, correct?
Yes.
Then come to 8.3, that is control of non-conforming products. So when the product fails or it is non-conform, then how you maintain that procedure and how you define that policy or the procedure, correct? So the products that do not conform to the requirement must be identified and controlled to prevent their unintended use or
Or
delivery.
delivery to customers or end users. Okay. Okay.
So you have to identify, you keep it separately, correct? All
Yes.
those
For
products,
SOP should be there for this.
right? And
Okay.
how you maintain the record that you have to define, correct?
Okay.
Before it reaches to customer.
Yes.
Like if you are an injection manufacturer, how you define the non-conform product? So you will keep the like in the quarantine area, right? And there will be rejection policy also. How you reject the material, how you destroy. So everything has to be mentioned properly. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Action in response to non-conform. What action you have taken? Correct. Uh,
Yes. In BPR also we can mention what's the rejected quantity, what's
correct.
the good quantity. Okay.
And you have to eliminate the identified non-conformity, authorize
Hmm.
release or acceptance under the concession.
Conception.
Action in response to non-conformity product detected after delivery. This was what before delivery. Action in
It's
non-conformity
in
product.
manufacturing plant.
This is before delivery, and this is
Okay.
after delivery.
After delivery.
Okay.
Okay.
So sometimes rework. So people use rework policy. Okay. So
Yes.
in your case, if it is not applicable, you can exclude this clause also. That
Okay. Okay.
rework or reprocessing is not applicable. And if at
Hmm.
all acceptable, the applicable, then you have to justify also. Okay.
Okay.
So any rework to be performed on the medical device must be in accordance with the documented procedure, and the medical device must be verified with acceptance criteria and regulatory requirements.
Regulatory requirements. Okay.
Then analysis of data. So the organization must collect and analyze data to determine whether its QMS is suitable, adequate, and effective, and the data to be analyzed is that gathered from feedback, audits, and services.
Okay.
So whatever feedback you must be received after delivery of product, okay, whatever internal audit, external audit happens during the year, okay, whatever service
Okay.
provided. Based on that, you can analyze the data very nicely. In pharma industry, we call it as APQR, right? Annual
Annual product
product.
quality review.
So
Yes, sir.
similarly, in medical devices also, you can analyze from your feedback audit and
Audit.
make analysis train chart that. Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
And then the improvement, correct?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
each customer or each client manufacturer has the area of the scope of improvement, correct? So
Correct.
collect and analyze data to determine QMS suitable, adequate, and effective. And the organization shall identify and implement any changes necessary to ensure and maintain improvement action are taken based on your audit result,
Audit results,
data
data
analysis,
analysis,
your corrective preventive action, your management review, and the
post-market
provision.
surveillance, PMS. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is how the improvement policy has to be made, procedure
Hmm.
has to be written, and everyone should be trained under improvement. And apart from this data, even the improvement you can show based on the training also, the competency is increased, the quality is
Okay.
increased, correct?
Yes.
So each department wise improvement also you can show nicely.
Correct.
Then corrective action, the organization shall take action to eliminate cause of non-conformities. Of course,
Yes.
to eliminate the cause of non-conformities, you have to find out the root cause after root cause analysis, impact analysis, and so that you take the prevention, right? So that
Yes.
it will not reoccur.
Correct.
You have to review the non-conformity.
Non-conformities, causes of non-conformities, need for action to ensure that conformities do not recur, action needed, verifying that the corrective action does not adversely affect.
So it should not affect the quality of the product, correct?
Already
And
generated quality management system. It should not be affected based on that corrective action.
right, then do your preventive action.
Yes.
You can read.
The organization should not wait for non-conformities. The organization shall document for possible non-conformities and their causes, action to prevent occurrence of non-conformities, implementing such action, verifying action.
Right. Any
Examples of
example?
preventive action.
An example, tell me.
Uh, Example for preventive action. Any alarm checks we can put in manufacturing equipment.
Yeah.
If at a higher temperature for temperature monitoring, if they
Uh,
go high or low also, it will automatically pop up and it's alarming. Like that, some generation system we can put in preventive action for a manufacturing process, and compression process for weight variations we can put some criteria for compression distance, higher weight or lower weight,
okay.
it will identify, so
Right.
that some techniques we can include in that machine. So it will
Perfect.
it is also one of the preventive action.
Perfect. And in while auditing, I have seen in one of the company blister
Okay.
packing chain. They used to pack 10 tablets in one blister. So suppose
Okay.
if by any chance if one tablet is blank, okay, the blank blister,
Correct.
or many tablets are not. So how they identify it? So
That camera will be
sometimes
there in that.
camera is installed, and sometimes they install a small fan so that if all the blisters are empty, say for example, it will flow, with the air.
Yeah, yeah. It blow out all the tablets,
Go
and
out.
in rejection, it will
Exactly.
automatically got.
Rejection will be automatically.
That's a rejection mechanism. Yeah.
So so you can see what technology is best, to
Yes.
identify those gaps, and accordingly you can implement and to take
Yes.
the action. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
that's how we have covered all the clauses, 8 clauses under ISO 13485.
Yes.
And, uh, This is the guidances available when you build your system as per ISO 13485. Along with that, you have to read the ISO 9001, which is the base standard. And for
Okay.
this, you have to go through ISO 14971. Okay, risk
Yeah.
management. If you have any clean rooms, okay, associated control, then you have to go for ISO 14644. Okay,
Okay.
if you have to meet the usability criteria, right, for the medical device, then you go for IEC 62366.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Okay.
you are going through the MDSAP, then you read those MDSAP guidances also. So like that,
Okay.
you know, all the material is gathered from different sources and the sources is acknowledged.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind attention. And
Yeah.
now we can still wait for another 5 minutes if you have any question. Otherwise, I will give you the question link, that is Google form. You can go through the exam link and at your own pace, take your own time. And in this,
Okay.
we have covered entire MDR 2017 along with the quality management system. Thank you
Okay, ma'am.
again for your patient hearing, and I hope you enjoyed the session.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. It's a very good session today.
Yeah,
You clarified most of the doubts and
thank you so much.
if possible,